Hello and welcome to your activity log tutorial for your North Carolina activity sheet. I'm here to help you know how to add to, take away from, or even personalize your log sheet for your challenge. Now, I do want to reiterate this log sheet is not mandatory for your completion of the challenge. This is done by the honor system. I trust you, but it is fun to write down all your activities, see what you're doing. You can even share them with our Facebook group. I'd love to see all the things that you're doing. It really is extra fun when you can see your progress on paper or on your digital log sheet. So let's get into it. The first thing that you're going to need to do is have a Canva account. If you don't have one already, don't worry about it. All you have to do is click on the link that I give you for the challenge log sheet, and it'll take you right into Canva, and they'll walk you through how to sign up for your account. You can look at everything without having an account, but when you start making changes, that's when you need to have your own account. So let's get into it. Once you make your account, it'll bring you to a page and the log sheet that looks like this. Now it is very tiny starting out, so I'm going to first show you how to make it bigger because it is a whole lot easier to make the changes with bigger fonts and bigger fields. So here we go. You make it as big as you need it to be. You can scroll up or down to get to wherever you want. The first thing we're going to talk about after now that you know how to make it bigger or smaller is how to add text. So what we have is I've given you 24 categories of things to do in North Carolina. You can challenge yourself to do one of each category throughout the year, but that's not mandatory. This is your challenge, your rules. You get to decide what you do. The main thing is just to do 24 activities and have fun with it. So if you want to repeat activities, you can repeat activities. If you want to do one in each category, do one in each category. So what I've done is you have these 24 suggestions, but if you don't like these suggestions, you can either check that off as a no, or you can just change the name yourself. Or there's also extra fields and a whole extra page for you to personalize and customize as you wish. So let me show how you can add and take away. First, let's say you do want to go on a road trip and you want to go to Wilmington. There's two ways to add your text. The first way, it's the easiest to keep all of your fonts similar. It's just to go to a field that I already have a word in. Make sure just that small word is highlighted. If the whole field is highlighted, it's not going to copy the word because that's for the whole field. You want the word. If you can't get the word to highlight, just click somewhere else real quick and go back. And then when it's just highlighting only the word, then you know you got the right place. And we're going to go to these three bubbles right here. Click on the bubbles, go down and look for the word duplicate. I have duplicate. I'm going to click on duplicate, and now I have two words. I'm going to click and move that field over here to a place. I'm going to click on it to highlight. And now I'm going to write where my road trip is. And so let's say I'm going to Wilmington. So I type in Wilmington. Another way that you can add, but it's a little harder, because the font may be different, but I want to show you anyway. Just come over here, hit the text button, choose a size that you want. So let's say if I do a heading like this, it says date completed. I'm just going to say January 1st of 25, all right? And maybe you want the font different for different fields. And you can make it bigger, smaller by clicking on one of the side corners where the circles are. Click on it and then drag it with your mouse in or out, and then drag it over to where you want it to go. I want that a little smaller again, so I'm going to click and drag in. and just move it around to where I want. Okay. So here we've added our name and our date in two different ways. Now I'll show you how you can check off your yes or no. Let's say, okay, we just did our road trip to Wilmington. I want to do a check mark. So I go up here, I click on my check mark, go back to those three bubbles, click on the bubbles. Down here, you click on duplicate. Now I have two check marks. Just click and drag one of those check marks down to where you want it to be. All right, perfect. Now we've got one checked off, and I'm looking at sports. You know, I really don't want to do a sport this year. I'm going to duplicate one of my road trips. I want to do two road trips. So, you know what? I don't want to do sports. So I'm going to take this X. I'm going to click on the X, click on my bubbles, go down to duplicate and click. Move that second X down to no. So I know that's not going to be one that I want to do. All right, or let's say support local. Well, I do want to support local, but just for um the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to change it, say like I actually want to do another road trip instead of support local, so I'm going to put in road trip. All right, so now we have our road trip. So that's how you can add, change, or even take away. But let's say now you make a mistake. You're like, oh no, I want to go back and I want to put support local back in there because it's important to support our local businesses and small business owners. A quick way to change it back is go up here. We have this back arrow. That's undo. You can undo what you did and click until it gets back to where you want to be. Or you can go a redo. Say like, oh, nope, I actually want to go back to a road trip and click it until it gets you to where you want to go. I actually want to go back to support local because it's so important to support local. All right. So basically, there you have it. That's our first page. You can add and change as you'd like. There's one other way you can also customize this the way you want it to. Let's say you want to put your name up here on the first page just to make it special for yourself. You can go back over here. You can use one of these regular headings, or there's some special things that you can use down here. And let's say I'm going to click on this one. Oops, it went down here. I'm going to bring it up, make it smaller. And I want to put Christie's, then click on this, North Carolina Adventure. So there, I've just personalized it and made it my own. There's a lot of fun things. You can have fun. Play with this. You can play with this all you like. If you do have a free version of this, this works great with a free version. You do need to just be aware that a free version, you'll want to just pick some of these squares that does not have this crown. If you look here, this crown says Pro. You have to have a paid account to be able to use those. Um, that really only matters if you're going to print it or anything. If you print it, then you have to end up paying for it. But it's best just to use the ones that do not have the Pro on it, unless you do have a Pro account. So anyway, there you go. Those are the basics of how to add, take away, and personalize your log sheet. I cannot wait to hear about and see pictures from the places that you go. Please share them in our Facebook group. Share them with me. I'm excited to hear what you're going to do, see, and experience this year. And hopefully we can even meet at some of our meetups. I will talk to you, and be sure to get to me if you have any questions. I'm here to help. Have a great time exploring. Bye-bye.